In this webinar, you'll meet Enrique Sanchez, a young immigrant father who brought his 7-year-old son Joaquin to a new country without the rest of their family. Their therapist, Dr. Chang, has a very difficult decision to discuss with Mr. Sanchez.
Enrique, nice seeing you today.
Hello.
How are things?
They're okay.
Okay. I see Joaquin is a little bit taller.
See.
Yeah, all right. So how are things with Joaquin?
They are okay. He's difficult. He's still not listening all the time, but he's 7, so.
You're right. He's young, right?
See.
So yeah. I've been thinking about you and Joaquin since the last time that we met. You are going through a big transition, right? Coming to this new country, having some expectations that are completely different than what you were thinking, you know. I know that Joaquin and you have gone through a lot since you came. So, and there are so many people that are involved in your life that are actually, you know, in your business. So that has to be hard, difficult.
See, he's very difficult.
Yes. Some of the challenges that I have experienced has been that there are different people involved with you, and at times it has been helpful because, you know, I know that you're not alone, that, you know, there are some people who are invested in supporting you. This is a big challenging also because I just want to keep everything open, and I just want to make sure that you know what I'm actually, what I've been hearing, and what the network of support that you have, the times that they reach to me. But you know, there have been a couple of people from your church that have called me, and they're raising some concerns.
People from my church call you?
Yes. Soledad and her husband, Pablo, both of them called. And they felt really badly. They say that they wanted to talk to you, but they didn't have a chance. So, you know, they knew that you were going to come to see me. First, they really like you, and they like Joaquin, and they are actually saying that, you know, they really know how hard you have been trying, and you are trying to work here. But they're concerned about some things that are happening at home with Joaquin. So you are working at nights, and, you know, first they were concerned because before Maria and before Jose moved into your apartment, they were concerned that Joaquin was staying home alone.
See, but no more.
Okay.
That's why Jose and Maria come in.
All right. But they were actually also telling me that there has been incidents where your new, the people who are staying there are drinking, and they are actually, Jose is engaging in fights with his wife, and Joaquin is around.
See, but when you are married, you fight. Sometimes I fight with my wife. Joaquin is old enough to understand.
So yeah, I understand that there might be some disagreements, you know, in every relationship. But one thing is disagreeing. Another thing is, you know, becoming physically attacking people or sort of physically fighting. And, you know, they were concerned because I think that the police was called, so there was actually more than sort of a misunderstanding that was happening with the couple.
Yeah. See, but Joaquin was in his room, so
That's what you're telling him, to stay in his room.
see, when I'm at work.
Still, the situation is difficult because, I mean, this couple still is in your apartment, and I'm not sure if they are getting the support that they need. I'm not sure if, you know, the fighting would stop or if it would escalate. You know, this person drinking, when you are not home with Joaquin, might place Joaquin in a dangerous situation. And I'm also wondering how you're dealing with all the stress that this can cause, and you know there have been so much. And this is really hard for me to talk about this, but I'm also concerned, Enrique, that you might need extra support in terms of your own drinking. This couple is telling me that, you know, there are some instances that they had seen you drunk. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but you have left a voicemail. And the voicemail, I think that was not intended for me to hear. But you were screaming at Joaquin very, very, very loudly. And it was very disturbing for me to hear it. He was crying, and I don't know what was going on. But clearly, this was something that that was difficult for him.
He doesn't listen all the time. It's because he's 7. So sometimes the only way I can get Joaquin to listen to me is to yell at him, to get loud. And so, you know, sometimes you yell at kids to get them to listen. So if he was crying, it's only because I got a little loud and he needed to hear me.
Okay. Well, Enrique, I know that this doesn't happen often because I had seen you interacting with Joaquin, and I know that you have, you know, a very solid and firm relationship. I know that you care about him and he cares about you. I have to tell you that was very unsettling for me. I mean, that message, it was hard to hear. So I would definitely like to work with you in terms of, you know, how we can improve the communication between you and Joaquin. I know that, you know, for the most part, it's working very well. I wonder that when you are drinking, if that affects the way that you can communicate with him effectively, and you know.
I don't think having 2, 3 beers is going to, you know, change the way that I talk to Joaquin. But sometimes I'm going to yell. It just happens.
Yeah.
So
I'm just wondering if your father did that to you too.
See?
When you were little.
see, always. I don't know many fathers who don't yell sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. That you want your children to take you seriously.
See,
Yeah. Right. I also get that, you know, sometimes little kids might get scared when there is a lot of yelling. I know that the reason why you are here is because you want Joaquin to be safe and to be protected. And I know that right now, at nights, it's really hard for you to be with him. And, you know, I definitely understand that you have to work. You're supporting Joaquin here. You're supporting your family back in Mexico. I also know that, you know, when you do not drink, I mean, the relationship with Joaquin is very close, and both of you enjoyed your time together. You know, he has been telling me about how much he enjoys to play soccer with you, you know, going to the park. I mean, these are some things that are a bit different now that you're doing it here, but he remembers that, you know, these are things that you also did back in your own town. So I know that that brings him joy. I know that that's something that really he's looking forward to do with you. And I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the situation that he's being put at nights when you're not there. And also, you know, the times that you drink. I believe that when you yell the way that I heard you yelling, it is scary. I know that you want your child to be protected. I know that you have actually sacrificed a lot for you to bring him to a safer place. This is really difficult for me to tell you, but you know, when families face challenges that are really difficult, some of them are out of their control, but are putting children at risk. As I mentioned to you in the first session, in my role as a clinician, I have to do a mandated report, which means that I will have to call a department that's called the Department of Children and Families, and I will have to let them know my concerns about your child's safety. You know, in a way, I think that you and I, we want the same things. We want Joaquin to be protected, to be safe, right?
So how is calling these people going to keep Joaquin safe?
Well, the ideal way and the way that I would like to see it is for them to support you in terms of figuring out how could Joaquin stay with a caregiver who can protect him while you are actually working. This department will have to sort of evaluate what I'm saying, and I already told you my concerns. And then they will determine whether or not they think that your child is at risk. If they think that your child is at risk, then they will make a visit to you. They will go to your home, and they will interview you. They will want to know a lot of things about you and Joaquin. They will also want to know who is living there, sort of conduct an investigation, try to see it for themselves. And then they will determine what sort of action they will take afterwards.
What action do they take?
I hope that what they would do is they will provide more support to you and to Joaquin. And they will
What
say
else
some things.
could they do?
I mean, the extreme thing that they could do is they could remove Joaquin from your home.
Take Joaquin from my home?
Yes.
And take him where?
They take kids to a foster home. So a place where they could.
Foster home?
Yes.
No, Joaquin stays with me.
Yes.
I brought Joaquin here. Joaquin, he stays with me.
And I get it. I definitely get that. Enrique.
Then don't call these people. If they're going to take Joaquin away from me, you don't call them.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he's going to be taken away. I'm saying that unfortunately that might be a possibility.
But Joaquin cannot leave my home. He will not leave my home.
I get it. I do understand. And that speaks very highly about how much you care about Joaquin, how much you really love your son. And I get that you're afraid about what could happen. Enrique, something has to be done, and something has to be done soon.
See, but they already took Joaquin away from me once.
Yes.
You can't take him away, not again.
Let's hope that they will see what I see, and let's hope that they will consider all the things that I will tell them. I am very hopeful that it will help you and it will help Joaquin. I know it doesn't seem like that right now, but if you give me a chance, I will continue working with both of you. I want to do everything with you, so you will be involved in the whole process. I know that Joaquin and you deserved better.
So, when you call them and this department comes to speak with me, with Joaquin, you'll be there?
I will.
Okay.
We'll do this together.
Okay.
At the outset of the session, what was on my mind was how difficult this session was going to be. I wanted to do the right thing in the right moment. I knew that I had to report to DCF. I wanted for the dad to know that I was on his side. But unfortunately, I had to make this report because I was very concerned about his son's safety and the level of risk that he was exposed to. So I dreaded it, but I knew that it had to be done. There were several safety concerns that made me think very strongly that I had to make a report. The main one was the domestic violence situation by the new couple who was living in the apartment with Joaquin and his father. So the fact that the police was called, father was not around, the fact that there is a person there who is drinking a lot and is becoming violent, not towards Joaquin, but towards his partner. And he's exposed to all of this, made me think that he was in a situation where he needed to be protected. Mr. Sanchez has a lot of strengths, and I really value his level of commitment to his family. He definitely is committed to protect Joaquin. He sacrificed a lot to come to this new country, leaving the rest of his family behind. He is committed to continue being the financial provider for Joaquin, but also for the rest of his family in Mexico. He wants good things for his family, and he is so young, and he has so many responsibilities. The fact that he had a difficult upbringing, but he has made the best of it. So I truly admire his work ethics, and I truly admire his family values. So the critical moment in this session, I believe strongly that was my critical moment, where I had a hard time trying to figure out how I was going to present this to Mr. Sanchez, Enrique, in a way that he will understand that I was doing this because I was really joining him. I really wanted the same things that he wanted for his son. And unfortunately, given the circumstances, he was not able to ensure that his son would be safe during the time that he was not around. That was a very critical moment for me as a Latino immigrant myself, knowing what is that like, coming to a new country, leaving family behind, and learning so much and trying to catch up with so much of this new culture. So I get some of what he's experiencing. Definitely our experiences are not the same, but I know how difficult this can be. So I felt for him. I felt that, this could be an opportunity for us to keep on working together, but also it might be the last time that I see him because, this is a serious threat for him. I was very concerned about the possible impact of Joaquin if he was separated from his father again. Right? I hold a great weight on it because I knew that might be a possibility. And at the same time, I was definitely trying very hard to ensure that the department would not think about that as an option. What I wanted to make sure was that that I will convey a clear message to the CF about the importance of preserving this family together. And I was also ready to prepare Joaquin and father in the possibility that this could not be the outcome. Sometimes in therapy you have to make decisions about when to do a mandated report. And when you do it, you try to do it very clearly and you follow the procedure the way that it's supposed to. And in this particular case, I follow the procedure, but I also made sure that there were other things in place. I usually wouldn't offer to be during the interview of DCF to be present with the family. But this time, given the circumstances and knowing that it was so stressful for Enrique, I wanted to assure him that I was going to make sure that I could support him in as much as possible in the whole process with DCF. I brought up Enrique's experience with his own father because I thought about what he has gone through, what have been some things that I learned through the sessions with him, and I sort of got the impression that as a young child, that probably was one of the things that happened to him. So to me, it was important for him to identified with some of his own experiences and how inadvertently he was passing on this experience to his next generation, right? And I don't think that he intentionally wanted to damage Joaquin, but that was one way that he learned how to deal with some situations. So the invitation is on how we can break that cycle. And I think that he's on his way.
I love Joaquin. He can be difficult sometimes, but he is still only 7. So I'm hoping that Joaquin and I can work on how we speak to one another. Dr. Chang helped a lot. She doesn't want anything bad to happen to Joaquin and to me. I worry that they don't know what is best for Joaquin and that they might take him from me. For me, I worry only for losing Joaquin. When we first come to this country, they separate us for 6 months, and I didn't see him one time until they let us go. And would they find out while they were holding Joaquin that he was abused back home and that he is sick because of the abuse. I not really think about the times I yell until Dr. Chang reminded me of my father and him yelling at me. It made me think about Joaquin's how he feels when I am yelling. I think about my family every day. I wake up and I think about them. I go to sleep and I think about them. It's me coming to this country with Joaquin was not to escape or to get away from them, but to help them. So I think about them every day.